Hi guys, and welcome to your Week 12 Modern World launch. This week we are going to be discussing a little bit more of the next focus area, which is the French Revolution, and getting into that project as well. So to recap the progress, the Ideas That Changed the World project was due last week on November 7th, and only 5 of you have submitted that so far. So that's not a good number. We do have over 20 kids in the class, so we need to get a move on there. But I want to let you know, if you are behind, if you are not one of the people that submitted, at this point you should not be turning in the checkpoints, because I'm not going to be providing feedback on those. The purpose of the checkpoints is to make sure that if you're on pace and you're getting feedback from me as you go on. But unfortunately, once you get too far behind, I have to move on to the next project and encourage you guys to try to work at a little faster pace. So if you are behind, submit the final product and do not worry about the checkpoints. If you submit the checkpoints, that's great. If you're doing it to kind of help you create a rough draft, but you will not be getting feedback from me at this point. So just turn in the final product and get your grade, and then hopefully do a little better on the next project. For the focus areas, at this point you should have completed the forms of government and the Enlightenment philosophers focus areas. Those are better numbers. Only 4 of you have not attempted them. So at this point you would want to see everybody at least attempting the focus areas. Most of you have been in this class since the very beginning of the year. So there's really no excuse to have no attempts yet. So get to work there. Please reach out to me. Let me know what you need help with. This is one of my favorite Netflix shows, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and she's asking, please tell me if you need help. So reach out, let me know what you need help with. Attendance, as usual. In order to get perfect attendance each week, you need to complete the weekly instructional launches, which you're listening to right now, and submit work on 5 days a week or end the week on pace. So a shout out to Emily, Brian, Colin, Sarah, Matthew, Alyssa, and Britton for your perfect attendance last week. So that means that all of you did what you were expected to do last week and showed sufficient work. If you're not on there, it means you might have just missed one day. Maybe you didn't do the launch, or maybe you're significantly behind and really didn't do enough to advance in that course. And also, welcome to the class, Jade. The Revolutions essay is the next project in the class, so I just wanted to start with some information about checkpoint 1. The purpose of the checkpoints is so that you're not like this character here that's flying through the project the night before it's due. You want to take your time, get feedback, and turn in the best quality work that you can do. So checkpoint 1, you're going to be answering the historical question, was the French Revolution worth the costs? And you're going to use the French Revolution causes document set to find your evidence. So if I go into the summit, and I need to view as somebody in the class, so let's be Matthew today. So if I go into the project, the Revolutions essay, the final product is right here. This is what you should be submitting by January 16th. So while that seems very far off, it is, but this is a pretty big project. That's why there's 6 checkpoints right here. So I recommend doing all the checkpoints, getting the feedback, and get the best possible grade. So what you'll do for checkpoint 1, you're going to view all of the resources, and then these are here to help you. So what you're going to focus on is the French Revolution causes document set. So this is how you're going to be finding your evidence. You're not just supposed to write your opinion on whether the French Revolution was worth the costs, but you're supposed to be using these documents to find out, to really support your claim and support your opinion. So there's multiple documents here, and this is what you should be using as your evidence and referring back to those. Okay. The cognitive skill that you're going to be graded on, at least one of them in this assignment, is argumentative claim. And this is one that comes up a good bit in history. This is basically your argument. And so there's some steps to do that. You want to first make a claim, and I'm going to use Batman as an example. So a claim is a strong argument. My argument is Christian Bale was the most successful Batman. It's a claim because it's an opinion. It can be argued both ways. So it's not a fact. It's not like the sky is blue. This is something that can be argued. So my claim, Christian Bale was the most successful Batman. Then I want to provide sub-claims or supporting ideas. So I could say he was in 3 of the highest grossing Batman movies of all time. And that's more of a sub-claim to kind of build my argument. Then you support your claims with evidence. Evidence should be quotes from your documents. So I would say, according to thenumbers.com, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises each made over $1 billion in the worldwide box office. That's pretty good evidence. I'm not just saying, you know, Christian Bale's the best, and I'm providing actual evidence and documentation. Then you want to acknowledge your counterclaim. Your counterclaim is what other people, the other side of the argument, would say. So I would say some argue that Michael Keaton was the best Batman because he was the original. And then you want to refute or kind of argue the other person's claim. So I would say, while Michael Keaton was the first cinema Batman, he played the role twice, and Batman Returns made just under $700 million combined in the worldwide box office. So that was just an example of using Batman to show you my argument of why Christian Bale is the most successful. So you want to follow these steps whenever you're writing your essay, and anytime you're told to provide your argumentative claim, this is what they're referring to. So you might want to refer back to this slide at some point. Moving on to the content assessments again. Again, 4 of you have not started any of those, so you want to make sure that you first take the diagnostic assessment to see what it is that you do not know, and then look through the playlist to help you learn that information. And then once you feel comfortable and feel like you know all of the objectives, then you would ask to take the content assessment. To show you a sample focus area, this one shows that at the box up here, the most recent diagnostic was taken, and it shows you that you got a 3 out of 6. When you take the diagnostic, that's not the same as passing the focus area. This is basically a pretest. So what you want to do with this information is come down to this part here, the objectives. And this breaks it up into, you want to look at these arrows. 0 out of 1, that means that you need help here. 0 out of 1, 0 out of 1. These ones that you got 1 out of 1, that says that you know that information and you might not need to study that more. So you want to focus on these 3 areas that you got a 0 out of 1. And then that's the information that you would look for in the playlist or to study a little bit more. Then once you feel like you know all of these objectives and you can do all of these things, then you request the content assessment. And that's how you'll be the most successful on these content assessments. Week 12 is November 15th to November 21st. According to the PACE chart that's in the Google Classroom, you should have completed the Forms of Government focus area, the Enlightenment Philosophers focus area, the Ideas That Change the World project, and then also those are the top 3 are the required things for the class. There's also then, if you would like to get an A+, you need to do the additional focus areas as well. And that would be the Western Ideals and Early Democratic Documents focus areas. And then you should also be starting to work in the French Revolution focus areas and the project. So just to show you a glimpse of our PACE chart, you would go down to week 11 because you find the dates that we're in. Today's the 13th, so it falls in here. So by tomorrow, it's saying that I would want to finish everything above this line is where you should be if you're going to be on PACE. Okay, so it's okay if you're not, but you cannot afford to sit around any longer and not submit work. So you need to start chipping away at what's past due. Reach out to me and get the help that you need. All right, I believe that's all I have for you guys this week. So I will talk to you next week. Hopefully we have a very productive week.